Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, and also sponsored by Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Cindy Durance with A Place at Home, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It is 11:32 on a much-needed, beautiful, sunny morning. Welcome to episode 57 of the Community Difference Plano, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I am your host, Nathan Smith, with the recently merged Summit Financial, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances, helping you to properly protect your income. We are on week 2 of March, week 2 of a phenomenal topic, how to think like a CEO, even when you're a team of one, adopting a growth mindset to lead your business to new heights. So we want to get right into that. So let's bring in our co-host, and she knows how to make an entrance, whether it's leading in business or rolling down the hill at a Jimmy Buffett concert. Traci Duff of Assisted Living Locators brings a life is good attitude and a CEO mindset to everything she does, with a whistle that can stop traffic and a passion for guiding others to the right decisions. She's here to help you navigate leadership, even if you're a team of one. Traci, good morning.
Good morning.
I assume
Yeah.
Did you get any major injuries in your tumble?
Not that I remember.
Was alcohol involved in this tumble?
Quite possibly.
Okay, let's leave it at that. What are you looking forward to discussing most today?
Well, Nathan, this topic is huge for me. And not because I do everything like a CEO. That's why it's so huge. I am hoping to learn a lot and master some of these techniques to being that CEO. And yes, I am the person of one. So, yeah,
well,
I'm excited.
I love that. Well, let's bring in your partner today. She knows how to make an impression, whether it's breaking out the best Macarena moves or unintentionally starting a new fashion trend with inside-out joggers at the grocery store. Lillian Aranda of Window Hero Frisco believes in working hard, staying humble, and somehow enjoying cherry snow cones with pickles, which is gross. She is here to show us how a clear vision and growth mindset can help you lead like a CEO, even as a team of one. Liliana, good morning.
Did y'all say gross?
Yeah, cherry snow cone and pickles.
It's delicious. Don't knock it until you try it.
I'm gonna knock it. It's been nice.
Yeah.
Okay. But hey, no judgment. I'm sure I have some.
Y'all should try it.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot.
Our next chapter.
Maybe the saltiness does something. What are you looking forward to today about today's topic?
Hey, I'm a new business owner, so everything about this subject is a learning for me. So I'm excited just to take it on.
Well, that's amazing. So you're here to soak it all up, basically.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's amazing. Well, let's bring in our guests, some amazing guests today. Our first guest is proof that leadership takes confidence, because it takes serious conviction to put peanut butter on cold pizza and call it a meal. Brian Colaianni of Anchor Energy doesn't just think like a CEO. He once arrested himself in another country, providing he takes accountability to a whole new level. With a do it right the first time mindset, he's here to help you power up your business and lead like a boss, even if you're a team of one. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Nathan?
Brian, real quick, 10 seconds. How did you rest yourself in another country?
I was in the military, and language was a barrier in a different country called Bahrain. And we were out on a stroll, and I think we got in trouble, hit or miss. So we started walking a different direction, and the direction we were walking was right to the stairs of the police station. So we were a little embarrassed, and they just kind of waved us in and said, "Come on in, let's have some conversation."
Stand behind these bars. She'll be fine. Here, put on these bracelets. You're good. Yeah.
We were let out eventually, but yeah, it was a good time. Good learning experience.
Well, what are you excited about discussing today the most?
I'm almost at a year anniversary with my business, and I am learning every single day. So got a little tips and tricks, but I also got a lot to learn out of this.
Well, amazing.
Congratulations on your 1 year.
Thank you.
Well, let's bring in our last, but certainly not least guest who knows how to make an impact, whether it's building strong foundations in business or unintentionally terrifying drivers by hydroplaning across 6 lanes of traffic. Andrew Marshall of Autograph Construction brings a go outside and move your feet mindset, providing that adaptability is key. Whether you're leading a company or dodging Tony Romo fans, get ready for high energy conversation on thinking like a CEO, even as a team of one. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
So
Good morning, Andrew.
I can definitely see the Tony Romo thing. I do, yeah. Especially if you shave, that would, yeah. So, do you run with that a while? People thinking, I mean, do you go with it, or do you just immediately tell them, no, that's not me?
When I see people following me around Home Depot, and I've got like the Saturday morning hat on, and they're looking, and then they got their cameras out, it's like, I'm not him. But this has happened dozens and dozens and dozens
I'm
of times.
not him.
So, yeah.
I can't unsee it now. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm going to take a picture with you just so I can have it.
I'm really good at fumbling extra point snaps, blowing playoff games. So that's me.
Wow, that just opened up an old wound there from like 18 years ago. What are you looking forward to talking about today?
Yeah, just dropping in some tidbits of how we do things at Autograph. And of course, hopefully there's some good stuff shared with me that I can take into my business.
Well, I love that. We're glad everybody's here. We've got a great segment coming up. What's Up Plano? We're going to talk about what's happening in your community, big updates, important events, and some inside information that you'll want to hear. Stick around. That's next on the Community Difference Plano.
The Community Difference Plano is made possible by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, Cindy Durance with A Place at Home, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Plano?
That's right. What's Up Plano, brought to you by Love and War in Texas. Get ready to experience the true heart of Texas at Love and War in Texas in Plano. Savor authentic Texas cuisine from barbecue and wild game to Gulf seafood, all while enjoying live music from some of Texas's best artists. Whether you're craving a taste of the Lone Star State or looking for a fun night out, this iconic spot has it all. We have been at I'm gonna say Texas, yeah. We've been at Love and War in Texas, golly, for the last 3 or 4 months for our Business Development Alliance. It will be the 4th Wednesday, not the 4th Thursday, but the 4th Wednesday this month. We're not sure if we'll be back there or somewhere else. We'll double check. We're going to get that out to you guys as soon as possible. A couple of big things coming up that we are a part of that really affect the community. On the 31st of May, we're having our Veterans Job Fair in conjunction with the American Legion in downtown Plano. Our goal is to get at least 200 veterans there, 30 or 35 businesses. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West will be joining as a guest, just meeting people, shaking hands, etc. Great guy. We had him on the show last year. So this is the veterans flyer for the sign up. If you are a veteran, you know a veteran, scan this QR code. It's free. Job fair just come out. You can obviously show up, but we'd love you to sign up just so we know who's coming. And then Lennon, you can throw up the one for businesses. If you want to be involved, it's only $200 registration. If you're a veteran-owned business, it's only $100. Scan the QR code. If you're not in a place to scan it, just reach out to us. We'll get you the actual link, etc. But we're looking to have those businesses completed by the end of this month. So that's the deadline as a business owner to register for our May 31st job fair. All right. A lot of other things are happening in and around the city. Traci will tell us all about those, Traci.
Good morning. Yeah, well, first off, March 21st is World Down Syndrome Day. And as a mom of an amazing adult son with Down syndrome, Tyler, this day holds a pretty special place in my heart. Just quickly, Down syndrome is a genetic condition where someone is born with an extra copy of their 21st chromosome. So that's kind of how they come off of the date, being there's 3 chromosomes and the 21st chromosome. So that's why it's March 21st. And one of the ways that we symbolically kind of celebrate the day is rock your socks. So I'm hoping I'm going to be pushing this out here that we all are rocking some socks on the 21st. And I'm going to have you put them on my page. I want to see pictures, all that kind of good stuff. It's a ton of fun. There are some little things going on around the area, a lot of restaurants, Hugs Cafe up in McKinney, where they employ a lot of special needs, or actually I should say all except management are special needs. They do a lot of fun stuff on the 21st as well. So just kind of remember 3/21, that's Rock Your Socks Day. And downtown Plano, that's my son Tyler, yay. Downtown Plano on Fridays through spring and into the summer have some Friday night outdoor events at McCaw Plaza. One of them that is super, super, super fun, Best Bingo, is music bingo. They play little snippets of the songs. Everybody sings along. You guess the song, and then if it's on your card, you mark it off. They have great prizes. It's a ton of fun, again, at McCaw Plaza. And then on the opposite Fridays, they have karaoke night going on down there. Come sing under the stars. Tons of fun. Downtown Plano is really fun this time of year when the weather's nice and we're all out on the patios having some nice beers and good food and good people. So yeah, so hit Downtown Plano this spring and summer for all these fun events. And next up, I'm going to introduce Natalie Walker. She is a special events supervisor for City of Plano, and she's going to help go over the big Texas Forever Fest. Natalie, welcome.
Welcome, Natalie.
Different.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. We're definitely excited for our event happening. So Texas Forever Fest is a free family fun event celebrating Texas culture. It is going to be next Saturday, March 22nd from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're going to have live entertainment. Some of the live entertainment, it starts at 11. We start off with Austin Akins. At 12, we'll have the Mariachi Fusion Band. At 1:30, we'll have the Peterson Brothers on stage. And then our 2 main headliners will be 3 p.m. Shaylin. And then our main headliner, Aaron Watson, will go on at 4:30. Also happening during the event, we're going to have our HEB Family Fun Zone. HEB is our presenting sponsor for this event. So we thank HEB for being the sponsor. There'll be a vendor market going on. So we have lots of vendors outside selling fun items that represent Texas, and then also just local businesses selling their items from small businesses. We'll have performances by an indigenous group called formerly Bear Claw. We'll have a kids zone. So many activities. I can list them all. We'll have so many activities. The kids zone will have obstacle courses, bounce houses. There's even something fun for the adults. We'll have a Spirit of Whiskey tasting presented by the Whiskey Festival. So that'll be fun. You can go get your tickets online at Plano Events, and you can click on Texas Forever Fest to get those tickets. And then, of course, you can't go have a festival without food. So we'll have plenty of food trucks on site. We have Smith's Spot Barbecue, which is is going to be a barbecue food truck, Caribbean Cajun, which is a really, really great food truck that's a mix between Cajun food and Caribbean. Some snow cones for the kids and adults. They're really fun snowballs from NYU Snow, a taco station, and just so many activities going on. The event will be from 11 to 6, like I said. So come out through, you can stay the whole event or you can come sporadically during the event times.
So we went there last year, Lennon and I, and you had so many food trucks that the lines weren't even that long.
Yes.
So that was great.
Yes, we want to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to get as much food as possible and not stand in line. So we have well over 7 food trucks plus food trailers. And then we, in the vendor market area, there'll also be vendors selling food there too as well.
Wonderful. Do you know some of the, I know you mentioned the indigenous group that's performing on the main stage. Who are some of the bands that are going to be headlining out there? Do you know?
Yeah, so those are the one that's Austin Atkins at 11,
Okay.
11 a.m. Yes, and then 12 p.m. was the Mariachi Fusion Band.
Okay.
So we have a different variety of different bands that are going to perform. At 1:30, the Patterson Brothers, they're kind of like a soul group that'll be on stage. Shaylin, country music, she'll be on stage, country and kind of pop. And then Aaron Watson is going to be our main headliner. He is also a country artist that is going to be on stage at 4:30.
Wonderful. Did you last year? Was there something in the evening too, like not on the main stage, like on the other side of the park?
Yeah, at McCall Plaza. Yes. So they'll when you once you leave the event at 6, you can go down to McCall Plaza. There's an event happening out there too as well. I believe that one is going to be. Can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there is going to be an event right after in McCall downtown Plano.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you, Natalie. We plan to be out there. It's a great event. The weather looks to be awesome. Seriously, if you don't have anything to do, or even if you do have something to do, you should cancel it and you should go out there to Texas Forever Fest.
I agree.
It's gonna be fantastic. Well,
it's fun for the whole family.
Absolutely. Well, let's go to our sports reporter in the field, Andrew Marshall. Just kidding, Andrew. You didn't know I was gonna do that. We talk a lot about our high schools, our sports teams here, but we don't talk a lot about rugby, and we should because it's an awesome sport. So what do we need to know about Plano rugby?
Yeah, absolutely. So find Plano Rugby on Facebook, Instagram, or at their website. And they have rugby for little ones all the way up through varsity and high school, and then send them to University of North Texas to play under me. I coach at UNT in Denton. But Plano is in the middle of their season right now. They'll be playing the team from Round Rock on the 29th. Y'all are going to have to help me. I think it's called Hoblitzel Park.
Hoblitzel, you did very good.
They're really good in Plano at finding simple park names. I'm assuming it's named after a very important Plano family called the Hoblitzels. It's at 11 o'clock. It's free, and it's rugby, so you're going to see young men that are very resilient, strong, lots of running, kicking, passing, and then the tackling. Lots and lots of tackling. So it's a full contact sport, 15 on 15. There they are, the Plano Pumas, and they have teams. You can get your kids involved in middle school and then all the way up through high school. They have great volunteer coaches, and rugby is an amazing sport, and we need to be finding the next Olympians and the next best rugby players because, the USA women won the bronze medal at the last Olympics, and the U.S. will be hosting the World Cup. Third biggest event in the world behind the Olympics and the Soccer World Cup is the Rugby World Cup in 2031. So who knows? Maybe one of your kids out there has a bit of aggression in them, and they need to go tackle with no pads on and find this incredible sport. Builds a lot of resilience, incredible work ethic, and they can go check it out in Plano at Hoblitzel Park on the 29th, 11 a.m.
You know, we ought to be pretty good at rugby as a nation, considering our football came from rugby. But we're not. We got to compete with the New Zealanders and the Australians. That's where we really lose out. So
careful, Nathan. My wife is South African. You need to watch out for the South Africans as well. They are defending 2-time World Cup champions. So Just
I should
throw them in
know
there as
that.
well.
I went to South Africa and about 7 years ago, and I realized how big it was there. So I should have mentioned that too. Well, thank you, Andrew. Before we wrap up here, I sat down with a friend of mine who's a Plano fire lieutenant in the fire department, and the fire department is working to put in place a trial run of a new schedule, a 48 on, 96 off schedule. And he's going to talk about why that's important and what we can do as Plano citizens to advocate for that, and why that's going to actually make them better better at their job, which are going to be able to obviously better protect us. So take a look at this and then we'll wrap up. Well, I'm here with Chris Sammons. Chris and I have known each other since high school, too long ago.
20 something years ago.
Yeah.
25 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Too high for me to count.
You guys grew up in Mesquite, of course, and then ended up, getting married, moving out here to Plano. Why Plano? What do you like about the city? Obviously, you work for Plano Fire Department, but why do you like?
Sure.
What is it about Plano that attracted you guys?
Great. The city of Plano really took care of its first responders here. That was another thing that I kind of had an inkling about, but didn't really get a picture of it until I moved here. And I was at another department that was not so well funded, didn't really get what we asked for a whole lot of the time. So to see the way that the citizens, the city council, city management, mayors, administrative side of the fire department really responded to their first responders, I was like, man, I got to get me a piece of that. So applied here, luckily got hired on first go around because it was a very selective thing. Very few people got hired on, and just got very lucky and fortunate to be a part of this community, not only as a citizen, but as a first responder. So,
we have a good relationship with the Plano Fire Department and the mayor's office and city council, police department. But one of the things that, we wanted to touch on and while we're talking is because recently you guys are trying to push for a schedule change, going from 48 on to 24 off to a 48 on, 96 off. Talk about how that came about, why one is better than the other, and kind of where we're at in that process. Because from what I understand, basically all the surrounding cities in Collin County have adopted that 48-96, except for Plano at this point. So give us why is it a good thing, and kind of where are we at in that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So currently we work a 24 on, 48 off schedule. So that's 1 day on, 2 days off. We're trying to go to 48-96, 2 days on, 4 days off. Initially, if I were to tell you that we are sleep deprived, we are fatigued, we are struggling to kind of catch up with our sleep cycles on our days off on a 24-48. If I were to tell you that I wanted to double the amount of hours that I work on a shift to get me better rest, you'd probably think I was crazy. Unfortunately, that's the way a lot of people view it until you get a little bit more education on it. So here I am giving you a little bit more education on it, right? So working 48 hours straight absolutely is tiring. It could be detrimental to your health, a lot of sleep deprivation, a lot of fatigue, both mentally and physically, kind of the roles and responsibility of a first responder. We love our jobs. We take care of business. We handle it well. We do it professionally. That being said, getting 48 hours on immediately followed by 96 hours off is such a mental and physical recoup for first responders. Traditionally in a 24-48, when I come off of my 24-hour shift, that first day is usually what we call recovery day, right? We're kind of getting back the sleep that we might have lost working 24 hours. Downtime is inherently built into those 24 hours. We sleep when we can, we rest, we work out, we hang out at the kitchen table, do anything you would maybe at your own house. Usually though, when the bell's tones go off at 2 a.m., we got to jump up, we got to go to these calls. And sometimes that leads to a long day the next day because we're just fatigued, we're tired, we're trying to get back that sleep that we lost. That first 24 hours is a recovery day for us. And then followed by the next 24, that would be the day we'd go back before we go back into shift, which is traditionally our worst sleep night. Like anyone else, maybe compare it to a Monday through Friday, you go into work on, Sunday night.
Sunday night, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of what we equate it to, right? So we're never truly recouping that sleep that we're losing or regaining that fatigue. On a 48-96, once again, it sounds crazy that we want to work double to get more sleep, but on that second 24 of that 48 shift, we don't have to get up in the morning. Our shifts are from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Right. So even on days I'm coming off work and going home, I'm still waking up at 5:30 a.m. to get up, prepare for shift change, get relieved by the oncoming crews. On that 48, on the second part of that, I would be able to sleep in at the station, recover any sleep that I'd lost the night before. Then on that 48, after the 48, getting off work, I would still be in recovery mode for that first 24 hours. The best part, though, is that I have 72 more hours after that first 24, right? I've got 4 days to fully recover and get back to 100% and get ready to go back to work.
Well, so kind of summing it up, obviously the research says it's better, more is better because you're getting the much longer recovery, which is what you need.
Absolutely.
Which is ultimately going to help you do your job better, going to help you be more healthy individually. It's going to make you a better spouse and a better father, more family time, which is obviously going to, strong families is what makes up a good community. As citizens that are not first responders, is there anything that we can do to advocate for the adoption of this schedule that would help, whether it be talking to, what is holding it up right now? Anything that we can do to be involved in that?
Yeah. So quick backstory just to what's holding it up. So we approached our head fire chief with this originally about 2 years ago, almost at this point. At first, he was initially hesitant to it. There were talks that Plano was a little too busy compared to a lot of other cities in the DFW Metroplex. However, we felt like we ran numbers that were accurate to our call volumes and what we could handle. We convinced the fire chief, we convinced our medical director, who we operate under his license as paramedics for the citizens of Plano. We convinced our association president and our association. We took a survey for our department. We had 87% approve a trial. And I do want to clarify that we were pushing for a trial, a 1-year trial, just to test this, right? If at the end of this, we don't like it, we'll go back to what we had. Historically speaking, though, data has shown that no one ever goes back to a 24/48. Everyone stays on 48/96 because they love it. Well, we have a couple of people in city management, one of which is an ex-fire chief for us, is pushing back, saying that it's not a safe schedule. They're too worried about our fatigue. Working 48 hours straight would be a detriment, not only to us, but potentially the citizens we serve. What a lot of people don't know, quick backstory to that as well, is that we already work 48 right now. So if anyone is substituting, gets mandatory or works overtime, that person is working 48 hours straight. They would then have 1 day off and then they go back into work. So that argument is kind of null and void. It's not a great schedule, obviously, if you're working that. Having those 4 days off afterwards would be much more beneficial. So we were told no by city management because they were worried about the fatigue, despite having everyone else, including our head fire chief, on our side. So what we did, we kind of circumvented them. We're pushing to go before city council, who does outrank them in terms of if we get it approved through city council. We have several council members as well as a mayor that gets to vote on it. If we get the approved votes, then we would then implement the schedule. As a citizen, you are always welcome to reach out to your council member representative for whatever district you're in. But yeah, so any of those people can be reached out through the city of Plano. You're always welcome to express concerns for them. What we're hoping is to get before city council here in the next couple of weeks to have them vote on it. And at that time, it usually happens on the second or fourth Monday of every month. We're really hoping for the 24th. There's no guarantee on that. If we are before the council on the 24th, anyone is welcome to show up. We were told that news media outlets would be there as well. So you better believe that we'll have a bunch of firefighters in attendance that day as well.
Well, good. Well, Chris, I appreciate it, man. First of all, always good to catch up, but also to know what's going on with our first responders and being able to actually, first of all, thank you guys for all that you do. But more so being able to express a voice of things that are going to make you or help you do your job better. So let's get together in person at some point soon, brother, and we'll catch up there. But thank you so much, and you have a great rest of your day.
Sounds great, Nate. Thanks for having me on, man.
Well, thank you to Lieutenant Chris Sammons. That the day, the 24th, is the day the city council member, one of our close friends, Councilmember Shelby Williams, is one of the people that are backing him to get that on the resolution to get it passed. So we thank Shelby for that. Obviously, a great friend of the show. That is what we have for What's Up Plano. When we come back, we're going to dive into our topic. But for this segment, that's all, folks.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you. Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
Welcome back as we jump into our topic, how to think like a CEO, even if you're a team of one, adopting a growth mindset to lead your business to new heights. You know, most entrepreneurs think that they're building a business, and oftentimes we can get stuck in working in the business and not necessarily working on the business. When you're first starting out, that's obviously something you have to do. But if you don't change that mindset, you can find yourself really stuck in that rut where you can't grow and you can't expand. So today we're going to talk about some different ways to, one, identify if that's you, but also some ways to kind of start training your mind to think differently and anticipating the growth of becoming a CEO, not just of a team of one, but of a massive team or massive organization. And so one of the things that we've talked about in other topics in past is kind of what we call the referral trap. And that's where you're relying solely on referrals. Okay. And again, we're not anti-referral. You shouldn't be anti-referral. Don't turn away business. That's a good, but if your whole model is built on just getting referrals, how does that, what kind of trap can you get into that leads you to kind of stray away from the CEO mindset and back into somebody that just kind of owns a job, right? Let's start there.
Maybe like lack of control, like you can't control the referrals that are coming in, and it doesn't help with stability or growth.
Okay. Yeah. So
someone.
And that's a big problem. Yeah, because you're always having to go back out and find that next referral. You see this a lot at networking groups, right? Again, nothing wrong with that. Again, nothing wrong with sharing referrals. That's a good thing. But if your whole model is built like that, then the question is, do you have a business or do you own a job, right? So what if, in y'all's experience, I know you're brand new in business, Traci, Brian, Andrew, you've been in business a lot longer. Did you get in that rut early on, and how did you get out of it to scale? Like, to walk us through some of those processes.
I mean, my company wouldn't let me get into that rut where it's just referrals and you're just waiting. They're like, go fill up your pipeline immediately. Absolutely, you must, so that you have these commissions coming in from projects closing out. So we have a wheel, and there's 8 spokes on the wheel, and it's 8 ways for our sales staff to generate business. So they gave it to us day one. It's called the autograph formula. I have a picture of it, and I don't know if this is great for podcasting, but there it is. Okay,
I can't read it. I can see the colors. I can't read it, but
but there's 8 parts to it, and there's things like canvassing and prospecting. Okay, go knock on some doors. Go into businesses.
Yeah.
Company provided leads. Yeah, we'll pay for some for you. Client care. So going at this is a big emphasis for me in 2025 is going at my clients that I've already done a great job for, turning them into raving fans, letting them know I don't just do roofing. I don't just do painting, and trying to generate business off the back of, I mean, I've been doing projects in DFW for like 11 years. So lots of people need to hear from me. If I did it 10 years ago, I need to get back in their ear, remind them that I'm still here. But yeah, I would have been out the door quickly if it was just based on referrals. So they plugged it in and said, hey, okay, here's 8 things you can do.
How do you,
Very
Brian,
cool.
based on what Andrew was saying, and talk about your experiences early on in business, and do you, because ultimately what's the antithesis of referrals is people coming to you, building a lead generation system where people are coming to you based on any number of reasons. Walk us through kind of your experience early on and where you're at now.
Right. Just like Andrew said, it's just one of many things, but if you work it properly, it could be a revolving thing that works on its own. When it comes to referrals in my business with energy or solar, it's really the more you give, the more you get, whether it's a coffee card or, something more expensive. It doesn't matter. If you give a little something, you're going to always be in the back of their mind. And a CRM is always useful. There's a million of them out there, but the best CRM is the one you use. So find one that fits it, whether it's the mirror on your bathroom or a very expensive one you use online. Get a CRM, track it, and the referrals will just start working themselves.
Okay, pro tip here. Okay, mirror on the bathroom. You use a magic marker, right, to write on that so you can erase it. Use that same one on your truck window, your car window. You can't roll the window up and down, but sometimes it doesn't erase itself. But it's right there, right in your face when you look to the side. So maybe consider that little tip.
Absolutely.
Just keeping your goals and what you're doing right in front of you. So what I hear you saying, Brian, and obviously again, all these things are true. You want to have a great CRM. You want to take care of your clients. All this thing is gonna where you're not having to pursue, and you're getting more, right? But from a scalability standpoint, how do you build? Like, if let me ask you this: I don't know. Is it just you, or do you have a team that is working with you?
Yes, I have a team of guys with me, and I just try to implement what I do on a daily basis to them. And that's when the more business comes in. Because if I had 5 of me out there doing the same type of things, then the referrals are just 5 times that amount.
So as you've grown your team, how has your mindset shifted on kind of working more on the business instead of in the business?
I definitely still work in the business every day. And delegation is very hard because nobody can do it like you do, but it's also necessary.
True.
You have to let it go. You have to let things go. And when I was in the military, it's always train your replacement, because if you're not always training your replacement, you're the one that gets called in the weekend to do that job. So if you want a weekend off, hire somebody or train somebody that can do what you do, especially on a Saturday morning or something like that.
Right.
Why do you think so many business owners, and I use that term in the way that we kind of casually hear it, not in the sense of like a business. I like to say a business owner owns a system that is duplicatable and can generate when they're stepping away. A lot of people, as I talked about, kind of own a job instead. And it's okay to start there. And some people are perfectly happy being there, and that's no judgment. But for the person that's been working their butt off, they're doing the grind, they're doing all the things that that you say you do. What would you guys say to them as far as, okay, well, how do you make that shift to thinking, okay, I've got to put some things in place where I can do exactly what you're talking about, Brian, where I can multiply myself, right? Because if you have a bunch of copies of you, Andrew, if you have a bunch of copies of you, Tracy, Lily, well, then you're looking at it from a leadership standpoint and not just I'm in there doing the day-to-day conducting of business.
Nathan, you just described me. So
that's what I was going for, Tracy. I was like,
nice, very nice. Yeah, I am in the process of doing all this. My company is a franchise, so I do have a CRM that they set me up with. They do the landing page. They do a lot, but I was still the one doing everything with that mindset. Nobody else can do it like Tracy. I am learning. I have learned to educate my people, whether that's clients and families or my partners, that I am a resource, that I know a lot of people, that I know a lot of things, not just the senior industry, but other facets that go along with that. One of my taglines at the end of my emails is Google me before you Google Google. And it's taken me a little bit to get that momentum and get people to get that, but it's working. It's coming back, not just when they need assisted living, but their friend is in the hospital and has to go to rehab. Tracy told me that she knows the ins and outs of all the rehabs and the skilled nursings. So I'm learning to educate myself, educate my people, and like Brian said, let go of some of these things. So it definitely, this is the show for me. So I'm learning from all of you as we present this out to our audience at the same time. So I get to learn with them today.
Well, Lily, you very boldly and vulnerably at the beginning talked about you're brand new in business, and you're in a stage where you're not turning down any referral, probably.
No.
That's okay. That's okay. I wouldn't blame you. But talk about when you read this topic and you're studying for this topic, and you're thinking applying this to my business. Walk us through kind of where you're at in this process. Are you seeing the kind of indefinite drag of depending on referrals forever? Are you starting to figure out, okay, are you at the point where you're already ready to start duplicating yourself? Like what are some struggles or thoughts that you're having around this topic?
Yeah, well, I mean, right now with it just being me and my business partner, it's really hard, right? It's hard to figure out working the business, working the business and working in the business, referrals, networking, getting to know people so that they can refer you. But how are those referrals? Like realtor referrals, we have really good relationships with them, but they don't, it's not like an everyday thing. They could be selling maybe 5 houses a month. And so you have to build relationships with more than just one realtor. You have to just build relationships. And so the biggest thing I loved about the difference is, teaching you a different way to go about getting referrals, and not just, engaging with people, getting to know people so that they can, refer you out, but getting out there and, seeing everybody.
Well, one of the ways to get out of the referral trap is to start building a lead generation engine. And the first thing you have to do that is, one, know what your ideal customer is. Now, you may have a larger ideal customer base than some people, because everyone has windows, right? But still, there's still, you may decide that you only want to work with realtors. You only want to work in resident. It just depends on what that looks like. So you've got to identify who that is, right? You've got to identify what is your unique value proposition, and these things, and then that's when you're able to start building a lead generation engine through social media. That's probably a whole nother topic. We can talk about that later, because again, the goal of thinking like a CEO is, CEOs in a corporation are not worried about referrals. They've got systems in place. They've delegated. Very rarely, I mean, in a giant corporation, they're never working in the business, right? And there's obviously a transition standpoint. Maybe a lot of us are in that transition where we're moving from, I don't know if you guys, I talked about this last week, if you guys are familiar with the concept of the cash flow quadrant, employee, self-employed, business owner, investor, where we're kind of transitioning from self-employed to business owner. There's obviously, that didn't just happen overnight. But Brian, I know you wanted to share, you had a kind of a story kind of to bring this to light from a follow-up standpoint.
Yes. Basically, the follow-up is really the key. What I was many years ago when I started into solar, it was more so getting an appointment, do the appointment. If they don't buy right then there at the table, you never talk to them again. I didn't really believe in that scenario. You always got to touch them a week later or 2 weeks later. And I always believe the fortune is in the follow-up. And there's a lot of money in the past, especially with your old contacts. It's not so much busy work. I wouldn't say spend most of your time following up, more of a 20-80 rule, like 20% of your time following up, 80% of your time new business.
How did that change, Brian, because I know the anchor energy part is about a year old that we were talking about. How did that change for you with your follow-up, with your lead generation, when you brought on your other team members?
It's pretty simple. It kind of transitioned real easily. Why I called it Anchor Energy instead of Anchor Solar. I've been knocking doors for 8 years, so I know how to do that, and that is tiresome. There's a lot of no's out there, but it's a numbers game. But when it came to energy, especially here in Texas in the deregulated market, everybody has an electric bill. So when I'm talking energy, those are easy yeses. If I can save you a penny on your bill, that's okay, let's do that. And then I'll bring the solar aspect of it later or this later. But the energy side got me in the door quicker. So that's why I thought doing that as a business and focusing on that has been a real game changer for me and my team.
And is your team more of you, or is it admin? Is it lead generation, or is it more of you out and about?
It's more me out and about. We're all 1099, so they do what I do. They try to hop on podcasts. They try to go to as many networking groups as they can in the morning time, but in the afternoon for a couple hours, they're knocking doors. And I usually put out a little sticker on everybody's door that, says, hey, how you doing? Sorry, I missed you. Hey, you want to change your energy? And I hit that on the door, and I usually don't have to go back again.
So you bring up a good point, Brian, because what you're talking about is a process. Okay. And so this is where I think a lot of people get in trouble, is they don't document their processes. They don't have steps. They don't have a system by which someone else can step in and replace their efforts while they kind of take grow in their leadership, essentially, of overseeing the business. And so that's a big trap that people can get into, is you don't have a documented system. You're not willing to delegate, right? Maybe you don't trust people yet. And that could be, maybe you don't have the right people. That's another conversation, or it could be a little bit on us, right? But what is and I'll use our business. So from the very beginning, I knew that I did not want to be, I love financial services. I love what I do. I love helping people. I think it's one of the most important things you can do outside of Jesus. But I don't want to be in front of people forever. I from the very beginning, I knew that I wanted to scale and grow. And so being a broker agent model, we have the ability to build agents and teach them how to open up their own offices. So that was very clear to me from the beginning. Document, process, follow. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. And it's worked for many years, right? And we're scaling our business, right? We've got a goal of opening up another 5 to 7 offices in 24 to 46 months or 48 months. For you guys, do y'all have that in place? Have you thought about that? Are you kind of in the process of that conversation? Again, not everybody wants to scale, and you can still think like a CEO in some areas, but you're always going to be kind of trapped by where's that next sale coming from if you don't scale. So Brian, I know you've got a team. It sounds like Andrew, do you have a team that works with you as well? Or are you kind of a...
Yes. Yeah. I've got 2 under me, and then there's 6 project managers total selling across, and I'm the general manager over all of them.
Well, let me go back to you then, Andrew. How are you duplicating you, because you've been in the business a long time, so that those folks are going to be as successful, but that actually frees you up to do more higher level leadership and grow the business in that way?
Yeah, so having them actually be in my truck and go do 4 hours with me, whether it's going to a meeting, where I'm talking to others and trying to get my name out there, going on inspections with me, seeing how I move around a property and do an inspection, document it with pictures, how I walk a job site, and just so they are seeing all that. And then I'll actually say, okay, I'm going to step behind you, and you're going to walk this side of the house, and you're going to go do the measurements or do the inspection and document it. And then, asking them after a period of time, okay, how would you do this differently? Just trying to get their input, trying to get them in a comfortable spot. Even a part of our hiring process is they're going to do their first interview with our CFO, and then they actually have to go shadow, and they're not hired yet. I got to go see them. I got to go see how they behave when we go to a restaurant, how they behave when a pretty girl walks past, how they behave when somebody needs help, on the side of the road or whatever. We helped and got a dog and found its phone number on the collar and handled that. Hey, that's the right way to handle that. Do the right thing at all times, because we are constantly every day just trying to break down the reputation of contractors. All 3 of us. It's interesting. Windows, solar, general construction. We all have those barriers that we need to break down, and it sounds a little bit like we're doing it in a different way. So that is answering maybe the first part of your question. The second part is, okay, where are these synergy partners that can just be dropping leads in my lap, and I can do the same for them, where it's pretty much sold by the time we walk up. We're well reviewed. We've got great insurance, and we speak well and have a great product. So, it's going to get sold because we were referred by these synergy partners. Or, okay, here's a project. This is a great project for this affiliate contractor over here. They have done a lot of work for us building up to this time, but now it's going to go to them and their company and their insurance, and it's totally off my radar unless something really wrong goes on, where I'll step back in and I'll rescue the situation, because if you're experienced, we've all done it, and we're all in the construction scenario here, and something goes wrong. We know that. We're gonna take a deep breath, and we're not going to fly off the bat at our trades, because their fingernails are a lot dirtier than the 3 of ours, aren't they? So let's have a little patience with them dealing with this ludicrous Texas heat. But okay, I've been doing great work with you for a while. You're the ABC remodelers, okay? You've been doing great as my sub for a while. Now I'm handing you a project, $50,000 project. It's pretty much sold. They met me. Now we're going to go look at it. You're going to write them an estimate. You're going to write in a healthy finder's fee for me, because I handed you a project on a platter, and you need to go knock this out of the park. It's under your warranty. and there's more to come. And then I sit back and I generate other business and I continue doing what I'm doing. And every time that they receive a progress payment on that, they issue me my portion of the finder's fee, and it's mutually beneficial. I was the one pounding the streets that got them the business, and they've got a great business, great client, and so they'll compensate me, and works for everyone.
Well, good conversation today, guys. I think as we wrap up here, the thought process should be, whether you're brand new or you've been in business for a while, how do I shift my thinking from just effort-based, my efforts, to asset-based, to building a business as an asset, meaning where I can walk away and it still functions. Okay. And that doesn't happen overnight. Obviously, there's all different processes that you go through. But as we continue this topic over the coming 2 weeks, we want to tap into more of those mindset shifts that are going to allow us to make those individual, small changes that ultimately lead us to act and actually be the CEO of our business, working more on our business than in our business. As we do always, a fun segment to wrap up the topic segment. What's the difference? Let's hit the sounder.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right, we're going to go rapid fire here. I'm going to give everybody one question. Give me your best 10-second answer, 15-second answer. Andrew, I'm going to start with you. What's the difference between building a business and building a brand?
Yeah, set it apart, figure out the problem you can solve in a unique way, and then really lean into that and tell people, okay, I'm selling this solution. Tell great stories about how you've sold the solution. I think that's the way.
And then, so you're saying that's the way to build a brand, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a contractor. There's 10,000 of them. You don't even have to be registered in the state of Texas. Anybody can do it. Okay. All right. What's going to be different here? We're going to have a great why, and we're going to solve a widespread problem, like insurance companies underpaying or denying insurance claims. That's one thing that we tackle. And this is a unique way we'll go at our brand and setting ourselves apart.
Right. So like building a business is really focused on revenue, operations, profitability, but a brand you're talking about is more recognition, authority on a given topic, long-term loyalty, things like that. That's awesome. What's the difference between thinking like a CEO and thinking like an employee? Let's go with Traci.
Good question, because I'm working on all this. So to me, as CEO, that's the visionary. That's the one who sees it all, has all the responsibility, the ownership. An employee has a to-do list. They do the tasks. They clock in, they clock out. There is no personal investment. It's a job. You go in, you get a paycheck, you leave.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The employees focus on tasks, job security, immediate execution, right? And we can get into that. Again, it's kind of necessary early in business, but we can get stuck in that. CEO means focusing on exactly what you said, vision, scalability, the big picture. Liliana, what's the difference between growth and scaling?
Well, growth, just, we want to increase, right, our customers, increase our revenue, things like that. And then scaling, of course, everybody wants to figure out how to get out of the hustle of, leads, like we talked about earlier, referrals, things like that. So we want to scale. So how do we scale? What's something effective? What can we do to not require that in such a way? So like maybe sending automatic emails out, things like that, where, it's reminding customers of everything that we have going on, reminding them, hey, we do windows, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, that kind of stuff. So that way they can, we can scale it.
You're talking about leveraging systems, automation, things like that. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Last question to Brian. What's the difference between influence and authority?
Well, influence, that's something you should build first. And when your project knowledge and everything there, you'll eventually gain some respect. But being in the military, if you ever have to ask for respect, you really don't have it. So you'll gain that through your influence and how you treat people, and, get to know your team. always CEO should know your team. Ask about, something personal, family member, dog, sickness, anything, and then get into work. So if you build a personal relationship with your team and then get into work, you'll have the authority that you need as a CEO.
Yeah, and just having authority by title doesn't always guarantee that people are going to respect you. They have to actually trust you. Really, influence is more important, because authority can be given by title, but that doesn't always mean anything to people. So you're exactly right. Well, guys, great topic. We wrap up. We'll continue our topic next week. We're going to go to commercial. When we come back, a deep dive with Brian and Andrew. So stick around. We'll be right back.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
Welcome back. We're going to go into a deeper dive with our guests. First, I like to ask a fun couple of kind of icebreaker questions. So I'm going to start with Brian. Brian, if you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Did you say meal?
Meal, food, whatever. Yeah.
Pizza.
That's
with butter.
Pizza every day.
With peanut butter? Yeah. It's
Zero with peanut. I mean, yes, peanut butter was back in the day, but now I have more options and
you have a more advanced palate now that you're older. Exactly. Andrew, what about you?
One meal, not one.
You can call it. Yeah, you can have a whole plate of whatever. That's fine.
Golly, y'all.
Or just a food. You don't have,
something from Asia. Let's just call it one. Let's go with banh mi sandwiches. You got veggies in there, you got carbs, and you got some protein. Banh mi
so you're getting
from Vietnam.
A smattering of nutrients, hopefully.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is if I know that business owners never watch television because they're too busy, but that's what we say. But what is the best TV series that you've ever watched? Your favorite of all time, Brian?
There's a few out there, but I'm on a new one called Severance now. If anybody's watched that from Apple, I think that's a fantastic show. And
Severance. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have time to get into what it is. We'll just write it down.
Okay.
Andrew.
Seinfeld.
Okay.
Get me laughing, brings me back to sitting on the couch with my family back in the day, and we're pretty sheltered. We couldn't be touching things like Simpsons, but
you went with Seinfeld. Such a better example.
Seinfeld, somewhat safe. They don't get into the dicey stuff very much, but I mean, just make me laugh. Just make me laugh, please.
And it makes you feel like a better person
And the laugh track, it's like so old school. The laugh track in the background, the weird music. I love it. It's classic.
Well, let's get a little more serious. Brian, for you, what was that kind of defining moment in your life that felt like it shaped who you were as a person, maybe led you to be an entrepreneur or just something else, maybe to have anything to do with business, but just kind of you look back and say, this is a real pivotal point that developed who I am today? Character, experience, whatever.
Yeah, when I joined the Navy in 2010, just wanted to serve, wanted to help people, also needed a job. But as I got into the Navy, most people do 4 years and get out. I did 8 active years, and I'm still a reservist today here in Fort Worth. So I love going in. I love helping people. And I just transferred that to working for myself and many other companies for a few years, and then just start my own thing and always put the people first. And that's how I've been doing.
Well, I need to pick your brain to get you to help us with our veterans event too. That would be something I think would be a good partnership. Yes. Andrew, a little bit different question to you.
I was ready for that one.
Okay, go ahead. Take it. Like crap.
No, I actually had somebody. We were having coffee, and they were like, "Okay, how'd you get into what you're doing?" I've always loved building. I had CAD programs on my parents' computer when I was like 10, and I saved up money and went to Office Max and bought the next best one that added like landscaping. So I was loving building and seeing builds take shape. And when we were 8 or 9, before we moved to Texas, we were deeply involved with the church up in Pullman, Washington, and that they built a new building. They were in a boring metal building and built this incredible contemporary new church. And just seeing that take shape, I realized just 2 weeks ago, gosh, that meant a lot to me. Seeing walking through a build, seeing walls opened up, and then seeing it all come together. The smell of the carpet glue and all that stuff. I just love seeing a project take shape. And
you must be like me, where you must be like me when you walk into Home Depot and you just smell the potential. Like that's
I just love some sawdust. Oh man, my wife.
Oh man, why is it so good? I don't understand that, but it is.
Yeah,
that's probably true.
Everybody, I think, likes sawdust. Yeah. It's takes us back to cutting trees down in nature and all that.
Sawdust and freshly cut grass. That's those are the good ones. So outside of your job, Andrew, and then I'll ask the same question to you, Brian. What's something you're doing right now, or maybe you've been a part of, that really kind of lights you up, brings you alive, that's not necessarily related to your business?
Traci knows. Traci's seen me in action. I don't play very much rugby anymore. I coach rugby, and coaching, just being able to be this voice, be an example, an influence. For me, it's 18 to 24-year-old, 25-year-old college students sometimes, but I coach at University of North Texas. I've been coaching for 14 years, and it is such a great sport. It builds such resilience in college. If you are simply a student and working, what are you doing with your other hours? Maybe not great things, but what if you could be a part of a team culture, the camaraderie, and have a routine? Okay, I play on Saturday. I'm not partying Friday night. I train Tuesday and Thursday evenings. I've got to hydrate, stretch, be ready to go. I represent my school. I've got the logo on my jersey, and I'm traveling all over the state representing the school and trying to be a good example on the road. And, if you can go out on a field and you can bleed and sweat and suffer for something and lose and bounce back from it. We had a very, very poor record last season. All those guys still had great attitudes at the end of the season. Came back this year and were just the building blocks of a very successful year. We're ranked 7th in the state, 14th in the nation. So proud of what they've done. But rugby is what I'm doing outside of work, and traveling to watch a bit of rugby, especially before kids. I love doing that. And then getting to Australia in 2027 to watch the World Cup.
Man.
Then jump over to New Zealand for a few days. I heard it's a pretty country, so we're going to have to do that.
We need to grab a drink and just let you educate me on rugby, because I feel like I want to know more about it.
And Nathan, he as a coach, he walks the walk, because they do have an annual alumni game where they bring
April 12th.
the
April 12th. I went to the chiropractic today.
I will be there again. That was amazing. That was amazing. So
I would need to go to the chiropractor for about 20 days in a row before I can.
Awesome.
Brian, what about you? What's something you're involved in, or currently or in the past, that really lights you up, brings you alive, just a passion project, if you will?
Yeah, high school, I played lacrosse, a little bit of college as well on the East Coast in Maryland, and then
We got two non-traditional sports on today. I love this.
I brought that love here to
expanding
Texas.
our horizons. It's awesome.
I have 3 girls now, ages 5, 8, and 11, and I coach the youth Prosper girls in Prosper, Texas. So youth girls lacrosse here in Texas is coming alive, and it's season now. So we are in the middle of games. So we practice twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, and we usually play on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's fun getting out there. I'm the head coach of the K2 program, because 2 of my daughters are in there. So it's fun having girls out there with goggles and metal sticks running around throwing balls. It's basically hockey without ice and skates.
Girl power. Yes.
That's right.
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for being on. Tracy, I'm going to give you just about 30 seconds to say a couple of nice things about Andrew and Brian. And then I'm going to say something nice about Lily, because I'm glad you're here, Lily. But I'll let you go first, Tracy.
Yeah, no, 30 seconds. That's kind of rough for me to do ever. But yeah, and as professionally, I use both of these gentlemen in my home life. Andrew his company has built a deck outside, and he was just up on my roof after that Monday storm, very prompt and everything to cover it up before the next rains came in. And Brian, he is a ball of knowledge when it comes to energy and solar. And he can definitely save you all some money on your energy bill. All you got to do is send it to him. It's a breeze. So yeah, both these guys are pillars in their industry, and good guys.
Awesome. Well, Lily, first of all, this is Lillian's going to be on the Frisco show. This is her first, I think, show as a co-host. So I want to shout out to you. Great job. Your just willingness to learn and be coachable and kind of but just be like, I'm new. I want to learn. I mean, we're all in that in some capacity, because we all have areas to grow in. So I just appreciate your candor and just what you contributed today. And to all you guys, Andrew, Brian, we got about, if everybody could do like a 10-second wrap up before we go. Brian, what was your biggest takeaway today?
My biggest takeaway was meeting some of you and getting a little tidbits from Andrew, Lily, and Tracy. We all, have mistakes, but hey, we can learn from everybody.
Andrew?
Yeah, I thought peanut butter with pickle sandwiches were a really fun, adventurous thing. But peanut butter on a pizza, I could see the protein, but the Italian. I mean, buddy, your last name kind of sounds Italian. I don't know what
I know
your country would think. Yeah,
I know.
Okay. All right. Throw some goat cheese on a pizza. That's what I do instead.
There you go. I'm in.
Lily, 10 seconds to you.
Oh, I learned a lot from everybody. I love the wheel that Andrew showed. Such a great idea. And just as a new business person, I definitely think that I might be interested in that wheel.
I'll text.
Well,
yeah, no problem.
Send it over.
Great. Thank you.
Well, guys, next week, and thank you to Tracy, thank you to Lily, thank you to Andrew and Brian. Next week will be part 3. Make sure you try your cherry snow cone with pickles. That might be something that everyone will start liking. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. But you guys be safe. Have a great week. We'll see you for part 3 next Wednesday at 11:30.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health. Cindy Durance with A Place at Home. And by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.